Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time now on ON Radio, Thursday morning. It's April 13th. Thanks for joining us. My name is Joe Callahan. Across the table from me, Bob Lauder. Good morning to you, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to have you here with us. Emily Haney-Sheen from the call is here. Hi, Em.
Good morning, everyone, on this nice, sunny, hot day.
Yes, it's going to be real hot later on. All right, and I don't want to hear no complaining about how hot it is.
Oh, no.
No
I have
complaining.
my sleeveless
gosh.
dress on. I'm ready to go.
Scott McGee could not join us today, so we hope to have Scott with us next week. And around 8:30, we'll be joined by Steve D'Agostino, Director of Public Works here in the city of Woonsocket. So we'll be picking Steve's brain about things that are going on here in the city.
Absolutely.
All right.
What good things
Yes.
happened with you over Easter?
Well, before,
vacation? Oh.
we need to hear a message from M and the call newspaper, and then we'll get to that.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob. Over to you, M.
All righty. Well, we have two specials that are going on right now that you still have time to get involved in. The first one is our spring home and garden. So if anything to do with home, with your outside, any type of industry that works with home and garden, you have until next week if you want to participate. It's a great program. We have a ton of different sponsors and participants in this year's spring and home and garden section. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. And then we also have our Mother's Day. So Mother's Day is fast approaching, and we have our Mother's Day contest. So if you want to get involved with Mother's Day, anything to do with moms, or even if it's just, gifts or restaurants or what have you, please give me a call at the Woonsocket call office, and my number is 401-767-8500.
Very good, M. All right, Bob wants to know about our Easter. And, well, it's kind of bittersweet, Bob. My family always, as a tradition, went to Wright's Farm out there in Burrillville.
Nice.
Great.
And
Nice place.
a
Good
very
food.
nice place, good food. You could only go there on Easter if you had reservations. You couldn't just pop in and think,
That makes
Can,
sense.
can you squeeze me in? No. They had people checking you in. And if you weren't on the reservation list, please leave. We don't have room for you today. But anyway, and that was always one of my parents' favorite places to go. Well, both my parents are gone now. And it kind of fell to my sister to take this tradition on. And she did for a number of years, a couple of years anyway. But now her situation is changing. And now she lives in Smithfield. And her husband own a house here in Woonsocket. They've sold it. They'll be putting their house on the market in Smithfield, and they have purchased a house on Prudence Island.
Whoa.
And they're going to live there full time.
I love Prudence Island.
So we're thinking, I don't think they're going to want to come off the island just to go to Wright's Farm for chicken.
I don't know why not.
Well, it's getting on the ferry, and then you got to get back, so you get on the ferry. They don't have their own boat for this, so.
Are they retired? What are they planning to do
My
on
sister
Prudence
is going to be retired within the next 2 weeks.
Whoa.
But he is younger, so he is still working. He'll work for another couple of years, but he can work from home from whatever he does. He's some kind of engineer. I don't know what he does, but they got the whole office thing set up. He can work anywhere in the country, kind of thing.
That's
Well,
great.
that eliminates the housewarming gift of giving them a canoe and paddles.
Well, yeah, they won't. Well, I think they might have a kayak. So that's what we did.
Getting on and off the island with a
Yeah,
canoe.
we
All
went
right.
to Wright's Farm, and you?
My wife's entire family, all the siblings, all four of her brothers and sisters, were gathered together for the first time in a long time. It was a really great,
Nice.
great Easter. One of her sisters who lives in Florida was able to come up. So there was some nieces and nephews there, grand nieces and nephews. It was a good time.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's great.
Em, how about you?
It was a debacle.
Oh, good. Excellent. we need mayhem and chaos. Excellent. So
That
go
sounds
right ahead.
much more exciting.
Well, unfortunately, we had to cancel Easter.
All right.
So my husband had COVID,
Oh.
and it was the second time that he's had COVID, and the second time was worse
Sick?
than the
Yeah,
first.
wow.
So, so we just, because of his parents being in their mid to late 70s, and my mom's immune compromised, so we had to call it off. So I think I had sushi that night for dinner.
I was gonna say TV dinners.
No, I had sushi, and I think he had soup.
All
but no, we just hung out and rested, really, actually. And it is what it is. Unfortunate circumstances, and then I started not feeling well, so it was it was kind of a
Down.
down
Easter.
Easter, but it was still, we got caught up and just spent some quality time. So
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
no,
All right, very good.
So we'll have some sort of celebration once it gets
little
like
later.
nice out and
Yeah.
we can all be outside and have like a cookout.
There
type
you
of-
go.
Type
All
of
right.
situation.
Well, excuse us for just a minute, Bob. Okay.
Yes.
M.
Yes.
How about those Tampa Bay Rays?
Who?
I know.
Just be quiet for a minute, Bob.
Okay.
Baseball team.
Baseball.
The Tampa Bay Rays are 12-0.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, I was right.
Yeah.
Who
They're
are they
on
playing?
fire.
Well, they're playing.
Really good teams?
Well, they're playing the Red Sox right now,
Yeah.
and they played. I don't know who they played before. I don't follow who they played, but they're beating everybody.
Yeah.
And handily. I mean, last night
yeah.
they won 9-7. I mean,
Yeah.
they're scoring a ton of runs,
Yeah.
and their pitching is awesome.
Yeah.
So
And our pitching is horrible.
horrible. Oh, Chris Sale was terrible,
Terrible.
last night.
The only bright spot was, a 3-run homer.
Well, Devers
by,
hit a home run.
Yeah.
So
But-
now, but the record, Bob, is 13 wins in a row to start the season. 87 Milwaukee Brewers and the 1982 Atlanta Braves. Both are tied at 13-0. So they're going for the record tonight. 2 more wins and they have it.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's
a
pretty
pretty big
exciting.
deal.
Yeah. So, and what's with 12-0 and the Sox are like 5-7 or something like. We're 7
Yeah.
games out of first place
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
It's April,
it's-
and I'm already going. Well, maybe we can get the wild card.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They've already won the American League East. We might as well just give it to them
Yeah.
to get into the playoffs. I'm like, this is so.
I know.
It's so depressing.
And then did you hear the other Tampa, but this is the Buccaneers. Did you hear the news?
No football.
Yes.
Tom Brady.
No.
Oh, okay.
Julian Edelman
He's gonna come back.
is coming back and he's playing
Play for the Rays.
he's-
I mean the Bucks.
The Bucks.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought he'd only come back and play with Tom Brady.
Yeah. I was surprised as well, but that's
Is that the rumor? Is that the confirmed?
I
What are you
think
hearing?
I think that might be more rumor than confirmed, but that's what's on the kind of.
Now he's taken a few years off,
Yes, he has.
so he's
was
older now.
Yeah, he is
and-
older, but he kind of had to take the time off because of injury.
Okay.
When he was with the Pats, but it's going to be interesting if it does come to fruition.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just looking at a few sites here. I don't see anything official yet, so.
Yep,
But I'll
there's-
keep my eyes open on that one.
Yeah,
so
there's rumors.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, we have a note that's been called in, and you can call them in at 766-1240 on a completely different topic. President Biden, who happens to be in Ireland right now.
Yes, Dublin.
Yes. In trying times, but all presidents have to deal with trying times. In my opinion, he has not shown leadership with major issues. He must pursue the ghastly murders with assault weapons until it is resolved. Number 2, the ongoing migrant problem, Mexico, and yes, other border problems. This is a never-ending issue, which he fueled when he let in 100,000 migrants into our country. Remember that? Short memory here. He might have done that. I don't know.
Got
So,
a couple of responses. but okay.
thoughts on Biden and not showing leadership, Bob?
I would disagree respectfully with the caller.
Okay.
I do not think that those show a lack of leadership with regard to the weapons issue and the guns. I think that getting anything through Congress right now would be very, very difficult by virtue of the fact that it seems as though most of the Republican Party has taken a stance that says we are not going to become involved in any kind of restriction of firearms. And unless you can get enough people in Congress to support an issue, it's not going to go anywhere. So I think that's unlikely. With regard to the 100,000 immigrants coming across the border, I also realize that there's a labor shortage in the United States. We have we're looking for people who can do work, and it's not necessarily highly skilled work. A lot of it seems to be work in industries which require people who are physically able to do it, but you don't have to be a doctor or a dentist or anything like that to take the job. And I would think that we would be encouraging migrants who are coming into the country into those kind of work environments. In Canada, they're actually looking for immigrants to come into the country. So I'm not looking at it as the terrible disaster that the caller may think that it is.
Okay. Em, thoughts on this?
I mean, obviously, we're a country of the American dream, and all are welcome. So we never know what the situation is of people coming over the border, legally, illegally, but there is always a reason, why. They come to this country, and I think it's just a better life, a better opportunity, and in regards to the unfortunate violence through the automatic weapons and things like that. I mean, it seems like on a daily occurrence we're hearing of another either mass shooting or a shooting, and I do agree with Bob in regards to legislature and Congress of getting something passed. And yes, it is, an amendment right to, bear arms, but something needs to change. The violence, I mean, there was a story on this morning on the national news about a mother actually calling the police on her son. He ended up, going into a national bank and just
down in Kentucky.
Yeah, just shooting. And he had just purchased the weapon, I think 6 days ago. And whatever reason it may be, we still it's a terrible result. Not all, cases, of purchasing a weapon is for violence. Most of the time is for protection or hunting or, things like that. But there has to be, something's going to give. And too many people of all ages have been victims of gun violence, mass shootings, things like that. And it would be nice to hear about good things.
Yeah.
On the social media in general.
What do you think?
Well, in terms of not showing leadership when it comes to the guns, whenever something bad like this happens with a shooting, he always comes out and says, we need to ban assault rifles.
Yeah.
He constantly says it, but it's not up to him.
No.
Right.
True.
Again, like you said, Bob,
Right.
right back to Congress.
Yeah.
And if a bill comes across his desk that will ban him, he'll sign it immediately. But that's all he can do. It's not up to him to, unilaterally gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that part, I agree that, he does come out and give his opinion on that and what he wants to do. The migrant problem, that's a tough one. I know, but Trump was building the wall. He stopped building the wall. I hear stories about people along the border, how it's awful, and of the people just coming across. Do they want to come across here and work? Some do, I think, but some don't. They just want to come here and cause mayhem. So, are they trying to get to Canada? Maybe, but I don't know how many do. So, I don't know what the best answer is.
I saw one article. It didn't have to do with the migrants. It had to do with the rifles, weapons. the mayor of Louisville was very upset because apparently they have a law down in Kentucky that firearms that are seized as a result of crime are auctioned off to the public. And the money, of course, raised from that goes into public expenditures. But the mayor is saying, a AR-15, which has been used to kill, 5 or 6 people in the bank, is probably going to be back on the streets.
Yeah.
Which really doesn't seem like the smartest way of raising funds.
Well, maybe they need to change that law down there in Kentucky.
down in Providence, in front of the Superior Courthouse on South Main Street, there is a large statue which is made out of weapons that have been fused together into this large monument. They've been disassembled, so you can't just pry them out and use them again.
Okay.
But it's interesting. Those were guns which were seized over a period of time here in Rhode Island.
Wow. All right, we got to take our first break here of the Coffee and program, but more is coming up. But we need a second message from M from the call.
Yes,
please.
and I have an announcement of the winners of the Cutest Pet Contest.
Yes. All right.
So our third place winner was Gucci, and Gucci, the pet, the cutest pet, was out of Woonsocket, and then second place
Well, what
winner.
kind of animal was Gucci?
Gucci was a dog.
Okay.
Very cute little dog, and you can actually go online on woonsocketcall.com or pawtuckettimes.com to view the first through third place winners of the Cutest Pet Contest. And then our second place winner was Zoe, and Zoe is out of Pawtucket. Actually, she got 50 votes, which that's a lot of votes
And
for
what's
a
Zoe?
pet. Zoe is also a dog.
dog, okay.
Yes, all three were dogs.
Dogs, okay.
Yes. And then our first place winner was Evie. And Evie is actually out of Scituate,
Wow.
Rhode Island. And Evie got 88 votes.
Wow.
All right.
So, their beloved owners are all getting a gift certificate of different denomination, and just wanted to congratulate our furry friends of getting first through third place in the Cutest Pet Contest.
Very nice. That's
And
a
what
congratulations.
newspaper was
to
this
them.
published in?
This actually, it's in today's Woonsocket Call and Pawtucket Times.
And where can people telephone to do anything with the newspaper?
They can call me at 401-767-8500. Christina, who is our master at any legal notices, anything to do with classifieds, obits, any type of memorials. Her number is 401-767-8503.
All right, Em, thank you very much. And more Coffee and coming up. And you can call in your comments and questions at 766-1240.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
The Coffee and panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
All right, it's Coffee In here on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan with Bob Lauder and Emily Haney Sheehan. Scott McGee from Stearns McGee could not make it to here today, but Em, let's get a phone number from Scott McGee's
All right.
office.
So you can reach him at 401-639-2906.
One more time there, Em.
401-639-2906.
Very nice. And if you want to meet Scott McGee in person, he will be at our Senior Resource Fair this Saturday, April 15th, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. The Stearns McGee RE/MAX team will be there, passing on information about their realty office in case you're thinking about downsizing at this time. And they can help you out and answer all your questions. And Scott McGee will be there, so feel free to come on by. Free admission. Just stop on in. All right, now.
Why does he look at me when he says downsizing?
I don't know, Bob. Why do you think that? So this is an amusing story up in Massachusetts. The Harvard University, they're getting a huge financial gift. One of their alumni, a man by the name of Ken Griffin. All right, he's a billionaire hedge fund CEO. He's giving Harvard University $300 million.
Wow.
Because he's being nice. The gift has no restrictions on how the money's used. Just, build a soccer field.
Yeah.
Put up a new building. Pay for new uniforms. I don't buy new kayaks. They have a rowing team. Use it for whatever you want. And Harvard will rename its Graduate School of Arts and Sciences in honor of Griffin. So, okay, I bring that up to bring up the next thing. Some Harvard students and faculty are criticizing the school's acceptance of the $300 million gift from the hedge fund billionaire Ken Griffin.
Why?
Critics say Citadel hedge fund founder Ken Griffin is a strong supporter of the polarizing governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. He's best buds with him, so we don't want to take his money.
Okay.
Some Harvard students and alumni spoke out yesterday after learning the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences will be named after Griffin. He has now donated around $500 million to his alma mater since he graduated in 1989, and now I feel bad. I graduated college in 1989, and I don't have $300 million to give to anybody. Of course, I didn't go to Harvard either.
I was just going to say.
You don't have people protesting outside your house.
No,
so,
I do not. I do
that's-
not. But don't you think it's odd? I mean, that's a good chunk of money, and who cares who he's friends with?
Well, I said it before.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jesus Christ only had a 93% approval rating.
Right?
You're
That's
always
right.
going to have people who are,
Yeah.
Against somebody?
yeah.
Okay.
So
It's funny because this smacks of the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield. Did you see the movie?
Love that
No.
movie. Oh, you've never seen that movie?
In
You
the
have
movie,
to.
in the movie, Rodney is a self-made man.
Yeah.
okay.
He's a big line of clothing stores,
Clothing stores.
for big and tall men.
okay.
His son is in college and not having a good time. He's struggling. Rodney decides to go back to school and be with
Okay.
him
Oh.
to get to get his degree because he
Yeah.
doesn't have one. And so he actually donates like $300 million to the school to have the business administration building named after him.
Okay.
Now, there's a professor there. There's always going to be an antagonist. There's a professor that's against this. He sees and he's complaining to the president of the college, who's played by Ned Beatty, that you're just allowing him to buy his way in to buy his degree, as
Okay.
opposed to the kids that are really earning it. And but the rest, it's really funny, by the way. And so, but it's Ned Beatty who's got the funniest line, who says, "But I don't think you understand the size of the check. It's really large." And I think that's what the Harvard president should do. Have you seen $300 million? Do you know how many zeros are there? Do you know how much good this can do for the school?
Yes.
Now, it doesn't say, all it says is some students and some faculty. How many in some? 10 people show up? 100 people show up?
I mean, it's a big
What's
school.
some? It is a big school, but how many are really upset that they accepted money from this guy because he's friends with Ron DeSantis?
Well, I think the guy is spending a lot of money for something he could have gotten a lot cheaper, in the sense that a few years ago, I used to take a friend of ours who since passed away up to Mass General Hospital multiple times in a month for various kinds of testing. And if you walk through the hospital, you see these signs all over the place that say this is the Joe Callahan Pavilion.
Right.
I was thinking, if you take up maybe a couple of alphabets of plastic letters and some crazy glue, you could just put up on the side of a wall anywhere. It could say the Bob Larder Wing. Who's going to know? The janitors will come by through the night and say, "Oh, maybe
that's
it happened during the daytime." You just have to do it when no one's watching.
Please do this as an experiment, Bob, and see what happens. And come back and tell us what happens after
Well,
you get
I
out
have to get out of jail.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All right, so that's what's going on in Harvard. I just thought it was amusing that they all excited that we're getting all this money, and then there's this little group of people that says, "I don't think that you should be accepting this money."
Okay.
And there's just no way Harvard turns down $300 million.
No.
I don't care who they're
I know,
getting the
I
money
wouldn't.
from.
Hey,
All right.
you should experiment with us. See if we'd turn down the $300 million.
I know, right?
And with no restrictions on it? Whoa.
All right, back here in Rhode Island, we have a dozen people running for Congress. We've hit 12.
Wow.
More to come, I believe.
A dozen eggs. Okay.
Yes, we are. So the latest is a Democrat, represents South Providence. She's a state senator named Anna Quezada. And she's going to run for Congress. She's part of the 12 now,
Good for her.
including Steve Casey here in Woonsocket. So we'll see. We'll see if
I
any
think
more
it's going to be
come.
tough for all of them because they seem to be local politicians who probably don't have a whole lot of name recognition outside of their small community. So
One
they'll have
does,
to be
though.
Which one?
The lieutenant governor has probably got the best name recognition.
So is Arlene. Arlene Violet is running, isn't she? Is independent?
I haven't heard that.
Okay, then I'm wrong.
Okay.
All right.
But Sabina Matos was the first one to come out and say she's running, and she's the
Okay.
current lieutenant governor. So I
Yeah.
think she has the most statewide
Clout.
recognition. Everyone else, like you said, they're known in their areas.
Right.
Like Steve Casey.
They're going to have to
is known up
educate
here.
the rest of the district to
How many people in Charlestown know who Steve Casey is?
as many people as probably know who this.
Who Anna is up
Yes,
here in Woonsocket.
right.
You're right.
Yeah.
So, I was talking with Melissa Murray, the guy who came out yesterday from Newport, Marvin Abney or Abbey or something like that. He's got a lot of clout in the State House from whatever committee he is on.
Finance committee, I
Yeah,
think. Yes.
he knows a lot of
The
people.
ins and outs.
So he might give a good run to Sabina. The others, just,
Clout within the state house is fine, but
but more name recognition.
you have to have.
Yeah.
The voters have to know who you are.
Oh, absolutely. So,
the,
we'll see how they campaign.
They
you
got
know?
till September 5th. That's when the primary is. They'll all be on the ballot, ready to go. So that means, and no Republicans yet, which could mean, the person that wins the seat has wins the election by 22%, let's say.
Well,
And it's like, boy, that's a low number.
they're going to have its primary first, and then they'll
Yes.
have the runoffs.
General elections in November.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would expect that there's going to be a Republican candidate somewhere along the line.
Who?
You live in Massachusetts. so
I
guess
can't.
you're
I
not
cannot
gonna
run. I
be
cannot
a-
run.
okay.
So sorry.
All right.
Oh well. So that's just the latest. And every day it seems every day we get a new person because everyone wants their 15 minutes. So you can't have two people announced on the same day. So it's every day. Here's the next person. Here's the next person. So we just go one day at a time.
Okay.
That's the way the politics bowl
The
ball
publicity
rolls.
The publicity people, the newspapers running the advertisements, they are going to be loving this time.
Yeah, if they can raise enough money to actually buy some TV time and some print time and some radio time, that would be nice. We're right here in the first district. We'll be happy to help you.
Can you invite?
And we have
candidates
plenty
to
of
come in?
opportunities
Oh,
and
yeah.
plenty of, different ways to promote
Yeah.
a campaign.
Can we what, Bob?
Can you invite the candidates in?
We could. I just haven't. I did invite. I sent a text to Steve Casey when it was announced that he was running. Mm-hmm. I never heard back from him. I should send him another tweet, another text. Say, Steve, we still like to have you on. See, but he's busy. I know he's a firefighter, so
Oh, yeah.
so things pop up, and I get it. All right, here on before we're gonna take a break before we get into the next thing. So I don't want to start something and say, "Oh, stop, Bob. We don't want your opinion right now."
That sounds like home.
Sounds like home. Sorry, Bob. All right, it's time for the weather forecast, and the weather forecast is being sponsored by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The National Weather Service warns again of forest fire danger, and outdoor burning is to be discouraged as it could get out of hand, as it has been for several days now because of low relative humidity and gusty winds. Today, sunshine with a high of 87 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 59. Friday's weather mostly sunny and 85. Saturday, back to April, mostly cloudy with a high of 70. Sunday, a 50% chance of some showers, mostly cloudy and 58. Monday, a 60% chance of rain, mostly cloudy and 63. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 59, and next Wednesday, mostly sunny and 57.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with the sunny skies, we have 66 degrees. It's National Donate Life Month, so keep the good in you going. Sign up to save lives as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov, a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, I'm Kathleen LaValle at The Honey Shop. Check out our Facebook page at The Honey Shop RI, and there you'll see a whole list of our new classes and lots of fun things to do. You could join us for making limoncello, pizzas, pasta making, cheese making, so many fun things to do and learn.
Thanks, Kathy. Folks, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop, right behind the Dunkin' Donuts at Park Square in Woonsocket. You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 70s. This week is from April 17th, 1976. That's when the OJs were living for the weekend. The Blackbirds played some happy music. Wings sang some silly love songs, and Barry Manilow was trying to get that feeling again. You'll hear those hits and all the top 40 songs from April 17th, 1976, right here on American Top 40, the 70s.
It's Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us this morning. My name is Joe Callahan here with Emily Haney-Sheehan from The Call. Bob Lauder is here, attorney Bob Lauder. Also being joined right now at the Coffee Ann table by Steve D'Agostino, Director of Public Works here in the city of Woonsocket. Good morning to you, Steve.
Good morning.
We'll be talking to Steve in just a minute, but Bob, time for a first message from your law office, please.
Great, thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. I'd like to talk to you this morning about two cases, both involving decedent estates, and both of which achieved results probably not in keeping with the intentions of the deceased. The facts of the first case go back to 1802, when Daniel Clark, who was a very wealthy politician in New Orleans, allegedly secretly married Zumi Carrier. They had a daughter, Myra, but there was a problem. Zumi was already married to another man, so the presumption was that the marriage to Clark was bigamous. But the man to whom Zumi was married was also married to another woman, so that he was in a bigamous relationship and therefore unable to lawfully marry Zumi. So she could be considered lawfully married to Clark. Myra, the child of Daniel and Zumi, was raised by close friends of Clark, and Clark never publicly acknowledged his paternity of Myra. Daniel Clark died in 1813, and he left a will in which he bequeathed all of his worldly possessions to his mother. Things remained quiet for about 17 years, and then Myra, the child, stumbled across letters and learned that she was the biological child of Clark. Myra sought out an old business partner of Clark, who told her that Clark had made a second will in 1813, leaving everything to Myra, but the will had disappeared. Myra believed that Clark's business partners had destroyed the will. Myra filed litigation in both the state and the federal courts, arguing that her parents' marriage was valid, because under the laws of Louisiana at that time, children born out of wedlock were not considered to be natural inheritors of their parents. And she wanted the terms of her father's missing will of 1813 to be enforced by the court. This began a 57-year streak of litigation, the longest civil litigation in the history of the United States. The moral of the story? Be prudent. Plan for the future in which you will not be around to administer your assets. Prepare a valid estate plan. If you think my office may be assistant to you in this or other legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer. Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney is an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Bob, this is a movie.
Yeah, and really what we want to know, who won?
Who won?
Oh,
Did Myra get the money?
Myra got the assets, but then the assets had passed under the terms of the will to mother, so she had to challenge the people who owned the property that had passed on to mother's side of the family. And by the time that Myra got anything really of substance,
Yeah, she would have been in her 80s.
She was really old, and by that time she didn't care.
Wow.
And really, for her to be in her 80s during that period of time is a feat in
Remarkable.
itself, because typically you didn't live for that many years back then.
No.
But I just wonder if she had the same lawyer, because a 57-year case
Yeah.
is like an annuity.
Yeah.
You don't have to,
All right. It's so funny, we all went to school. We all took history, and you look back at the people in the Revolutionary War times and early 1800s, and we all think they're just so chaste and so prudent and like that. But boy, they're just as bad as us. with the fooling around and taking mistresses and secret marriages. It's crazy stuff.
Yep.
Fun stuff though.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff to read about. You're like, wow. And I always had that argument with my mother growing up. You thought your generation was always so great and how we're so promiscuous. How come this guy and this woman they just started dating, all of a sudden had to get married 9 months later?
Yeah.
Well, some things happen. Well, obviously. Anyway, Steve D'Agostino is here. So how's your love life, Steve? No, I'm kidding. That's got nothing to do with that. I'm kidding. Anyway, so we had the story this week. We got to jump into the Synagro thing. City Council approved giving the city, or you, whichever way you want to look at it, a lot of money to go fix what needs to be fixed at Synagro, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
How much money did
Well,
they...
not at Synagro.
No, well, where?
It's at a wastewater facility.
Okay.
It's not for Synagro per se.
Okay.
The gravity thickener is a tank that is part of our facility, which the city owns. So, both, the entire facility benefits, right?
Right.
The wastewater plant, which we own, the Synagro facility, which we own. Remember, they just occupy that facility.
Yeah.
Per
Okay.
contract. They don't own it.
Right. The city owns it.
Right.
How much money did the city council approve for you to go purchase what needs to be purchased to fix what needs to be fixed?
So far, I believe it was $445,000 for the mechanisms that go inside the tank, and that doesn't include the installation. So when it's
Wow.
all said
Okay.
and done, it'll be over $1 million, somewhere there about, but whatever.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
what needs to be done, because that equipment's been there for 40 years. It's been patched, repaired. It's worn out.
It's done. It's had
It's
its
probably
life.
been used and abused a few times, but that'll all be hashed out or flushed out
No pun intended.
in the future.
All right. And so, from what I hear, that it's basically, I don't know, is this the technical term for it? They call it a rake.
Well, yeah, it's a giant, really a gravity thickener tank. It's like a sunbeam cake mixer.
Okay.
Well, this is a sunbeam
Sludge mixer. A separator.
crap mixer.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
All right.
That's what it does.
Now, this is what amazed me about this story. Okay.
The next time you're baking a cake, you can think of that.
Thanks, Steve. The other amazing part of the story, this is that the city council awarded you this over $400,000 to go purchase what needs to be purchased, but now you got to go to them to purchase it 30 to 40 weeks
Yeah.
before it gets even delivered, built. Okay,
It's custom built.
Because that's amazing that it takes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's can't go to
I know they're not on the
Lowe's and
roof.
get a.
They're not on the shelf. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are custom built.
Built, and it takes
per
specifications.
Each tank,
Okay.
right?
And it takes 30 to 40 weeks to build
Yeah.
just one.
Yeah, this is.
Wow.
You're talking about something that's 30 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing is humongous. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not like a very small piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
and it's built with special metals and to withstand corrosion and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. So.
But that which just leads to the question: what if something goes wrong between now and 40 weeks from now?
Well, that's why the other part of legislation was for rental of a portable, it's called a GBT, gravity belt thickener.
All right.
So it's a portable mechanism, and that's like $140,000 a week, a month, rental. So that'll take the place of the original piece of equipment.
Do you rent that from the same company that's building?
Synagro.
Okay.
No, that's from Synagro. They
Okay.
specialize in the waste business.
Yep.
And they're one of the only companies nationwide that have a piece of equipment that large for our facility. I checked with many companies, Veolia, and, Jacobs, who runs our plant. No one
Nothing has anything that big.
no one has anything that big.
All right.
It's a 3-meter machine, and it can handle the volume of material.
Wow.
But keep in mind now, and I've said this time and time and time again, 90% of what comes into Synagro is not Woonsocket. It's
Right.
everybody else.
The other towns.
Other towns, other states.
Right.
So, Woonsocket needs to be made whole for that. For the odors over the years. The people that put these contracts together before us were not using their head, okay? They should have made some adjustments for that, whether it be through the legislation, the state legislator, or even in their contract.
So are you,
You know,
are you looking?
why on earth would you allow 90% of comes in from elsewhere to just come into your city and you got to deal with it, uses your plant, and you only get $1 million and you get your sludge taken care of, which is about $4 million when it's all said and done. $4 million is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's squat. So they should have been 10 million or whatever for this kind of odors and trucking and quality of life issues, whatever.
So are you
not
looking?
smart.
Are you looking to be made whole by the individual towns or just from the
However-
state level?
However, you know what? Put a toll booth right there at 99 or whatever.
Well, then I'd have to pay for it. No, I'm kidding.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying I'm just kidding. About
Yeah.
Toll booth, but some type of compensation.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the repairs of the plant, whatever.
Mhm.
Why would you pay 100% of the repair when you're only benefiting from 10% of the
10%.
plant? Pretty stupid.
No, it's a good question, and
Yeah.
but I just wonder, is it feasible?
Well, I
for
think that's feasible.
well, true.
Shut the plant down.
Well, then what do we do?
Outsource it like everybody else does.
To where?
To where everybody else would have to go. Midwest.
Truck it out there?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Jersey, whatever.
There isn't any other plant in New England?
Not that size.
Wow.
We're the only one. So when you're the only one,
Wow.
you should be paid like you're the only one.
Okay.
Okay? Not rocket
I-
science.
No, it's not.
I
Okay.
mean, any attorney can figure that out, or
All right there,
Now,
Bob.
the contracts.
no
Yeah.
offense.
Okay.
But that autobiography you just read, I could have paved the road quicker than that. Jesus.
The contracts you're talking about, though, are those arranged by the city council, or who made the contracts with the Synagro to bring in the?
This is the previous city council. Was
Okay.
2012, 11, whenever
Right.
it was. Before us.
How long are the contracts?
30 years.
Oh,
A
So-
20-year and 2 5-year extensions.
okay.
Okay? Let me tell you something.
So we're
I
ju-
didn't go to Princeton or Harvard, but I could have wrote a better contract than that, my friend.
Okay.
Okay?
So what year are we in? So we're about
Well, I don't know.
20
You're
years?
probably 10 years into it.
10 years into it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you only have another 20 or 18
go.
or whatever.
Oh, is that all?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So,
All right.
yeah. But
Wow.
anyway, I can't really discuss because the AG's involved and DM, but I can say there's a conversation moving to correct a lot of the ills of the past.
Good.
So
Good.
What about, are there conversations going forward to get the compensation?
I'm not going to comment.
No?
Are you allowed to be part of the conversations with the AG and the departments?
Well, yeah,
Okay, good. Okay.
I run the department, so
Well,
I
you should be,
able
yeah.
to.
No, I
Who else
meant
is
the
gonna
I meant
do
the other state agencies and things like that. They're involved. You're
Well, we have
you're
a
involved in it.
We'll have a conduit to them.
Conduit. This is
We
the same guy
call
who
it
said he
in
was
my-
going to flush out the details. Oh God.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we got to take a break here in the Coffee and program. So it's time for your second message, and I hope another good story
I hope so.
from Bob Lauder. Take it away there, Bob.
Good morning. The second case I'd like to discuss with you this morning is that of the famous recluse and extraordinarily wealthy woman, Ella Wendell. Her father had started amassing real estate in New York City in the 1840s, and the family was notorious for never selling any of their real estate holdings. Ella was the last surviving lineal descendant. Her siblings had all predeceased her without children. Ella had no children, but she owned real estate in New York City, which upon her death in 1931, in the depths of the Great Depression, was worth $40 million. Ella was an unusual woman and very reclusive. At her death, her last will and testament, which bequeathed most of her estate to charities, was filed in the surrogate, which is the equivalent of the probate court in the city of New York. In accordance with the statute, the attorney filing the notices in the court also had to give notice of the pendency of the litigation with approximately the 19 known heirs at law, who were mostly distant cousins. Because of the publicity involved, the newspapers had published articles regarding her vast wealth, and more than 1,600 people, 1,600 people, filed claims in the surrogate court seeking to overturn the will based on lack of testamentary capacity of the testatrix. As a side story to this, one of the individuals swore that he was a distant relative and brought as evidence a marriage certificate of his parents, signed in 1876. Unfortunately, the certificate form had been published in 1913, 34 years after the date it was reportedly signed, and that claimant went to jail for perjury. In the end, the bulk of the proceeds went to the charities. If you think my office may be assistance to you in legal matters, please call me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, Bob. But no secret marriages for
Nope.
her, no extramarital affairs.
Nothing like
Nothing
that.
like-
She was
none of those people came forward and say it should be mine.
not that, but in 1931, when electricity was publicly available almost everywhere, she was still living in this monstrously large house in New York City
With gas
with
lights? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was probably cheaper, right?
Could be.
All right, thanks, Bob. More coffee ads coming up. 766-1240, the number to call for comments and questions.
Hey, Dave Richards here with an idea for you. Book your next party at Chan's. Chan's at 267 Main Street here in Woonsocket. Enjoy the best. Wonton soup, crab rangoon, boneless ribs. I like even saying the menu. I mean, it's just lots of fun to say these words. Teriyaki, sesame chicken, General Chicken. That's General Tso's chicken, of course. 5 spiced shrimp, lo mein, fried rice, 32 special combo dinners. Delicious and reasonably priced. And remember, Friday and Saturday nights from 8 to 11, karaoke with WRIK. Always a good time. Your Mai Tais and Scorpion Bowls can be taken to go. For takeout, 765-1900. For delivery, 762-1364. It's Chan's at 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. On the web at chanseggrolsandjazz.com. Chan's. Our family caring for your family. The Holiday Retirement Home is a skilled nursing and rehabilitation facility with a home-like atmosphere where laughter is the best medicine. The Holiday keeps their patients and residents involved in varied activities and events so they have the opportunity to live life to the fullest. The Holiday Retirement Home has their own in-house physical, occupational, and speech therapy staff with more than 300 years of combined experience. Stop in for a tour. The Holiday is right off Route 99 on Sales Hill Road in Manville, and for more information you can visit their website at holidayretirement.com.
Hello, my name is Trudy Lamoureux on the committee of the 150th anniversary of Precious Blood Church. On April 16th, in commemoration of that event, from 2 to 4 p.m., there will be a fabulous organ concert with renowned organist Henri St. Louis and a large chorale at the Precious Blood Church. It will be a wonderful way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Tickets are on sale for $10 at Precious Blood Rectory and at St. Agatha's Rectory, and also, of course, on April 16th at the door. It's an event you don't want to miss.
It's Coffee Ann here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan, along with Bob Lauder. Emily Haney-Sheehan is here, and Steve D'Agostino, Director of Public Works here in the city of Woonsocket. We've just been talking about the wastewater treatment plant and the amount of money that it takes to get this thing fixed and how long it's going to take, and talking about possibly getting compensation from either the state or from other towns and out of state as well to come help us out. Steve, I don't know if you're a betting man, but if you wanted to put odds on it, what do you think? What would be the odds of the city of Woonsocket able to recoup some of this over $400,000 to help get this thing fixed?
I think it's, I think it's good.
Better,
odds.
better than 50-50?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep us up to date on
But,
on that.
keep in mind, we collect revenue, right?
Right.
From other towns right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly what the fund is for, right? This is what this fund was created for, to update the infrastructure at our wastewater facility and keep it current. And so this is not like, we're not borrowing money for this. We're prepared for this.
Right. Okay.
We have the revenue for this. This is exactly what the fund was created for. Okay? But, and also, I just wanted to point out that we received actually compliments from DM just this week that our plant is running at an optimal stage right now. Level. All the levels are really good, and the odors are, almost non-existent, really. So they're all doing a nice job. And the water entering the river is cleaner than the river.
Okay, good.
Wow.
Okay? So, which is not hard to beat, by the way.
All right.
Unfortunately, no.
The river's a lot better than it was back when I was a kid.
Oh, even
yeah, they
back
used to
when I was a
dump
kid.
dye in it. I can
Yeah.
remember when I was
Yeah.
growing up. So
All right. Very good.
How about that gravel?
gravel's
Moving.
nice, very nice. It's really high quality, and we're going to start removing it on Monday. And I've seen a lot of gravel in my time. That is really
The good gravel.
good gravel.
That's great.
Very nice.
So we'll
Yeah.
be seeing more trucks coming in and trucking it out?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. There was a quote, I think I saw it in the call from you, Steve, about
Yeah.
You like trees better than you like people.
Well,
Some people, some people.
I should
Thought that
have.
was amusing.
I should have. I didn't say that. Than some people.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
That's what I
not
meant.
everybody. Yeah.
But I still stand by that.
Oh, okay.
Trees don't lie to you. They don't stab you in the back. Okay.
Well, if
They're-
they fall, they might
they're
stab you in
not
the back.
Two-Face. You know.
All right.
So yeah.
The question is though: have all the trees that needed to be cut down have been cut down
No.
at Cass? No
No.
more coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. In that section, I would say if I had to, guess, probably 40% have been removed, and then so another 60%. But it's like a 300 foot by and I'm just guessing now 200 feet or whatever.
Okay. What do you do with the trees after they've been cut down?
Oh, they're mulched.
Yeah.
People take the mulch. We take it away to whatever, just another facility where they dump it in a pile and people utilize it.
Take it from there. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And
It's
then-
not going to waste.
Well, I mean, some is going to waste, but it's used for in landfills to dress up the grounds or whatever. They utilize it.
All right. So things are moving forward over there at Cass
Yep.
Park, so that's good to
And
hear.
we're going to plant evergreens when we replant.
Okay.
Trees that have their foliage year round, not 6 months.
All right.
So
Was that your decision?
that'll be my decision. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. Now, where do you get those?
In the forest, where all trees come from.
So you just go pick them up and move them over here and plant
No,
them
I
back
mean
down?
you go to a nursery. They
All right.
replant, firs and pine
Arborvitaes.
trees, hemlocks, cedar, all this.
I don't know if you went out and got like little saplings. and-
No. We're not going to bring. We're going to bring
Good-sized trees.
mature trees.
Trees,
There.
yeah.
8
All
to
right.
10 feet.
Yeah.
So they come off to a good start.
And they continue to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but that's what really belongs there.
Alright.
Something that'll really buffer if there are ghost odors from that plant when it's not running properly. So yeah.
All right. Anything else going on in the Public Works Department you wanted to bring up in the few minutes that we have left?
Yeah, it's just we're going to do our annual sweeping. We're going to review some paving projects. Just a normal.
And the brush, the picking up of the
Yeah.
brush has restarted. At the beginning
You
of
know
the
what?
school.
I don't even keep track of that. Liz
Yeah.
Kerrigan.
She handles that part.
I have so many other things going on that I leave that to Liz Kerrigan. She takes care of that. And,
All right.
the staff at the highway department and in public works, they know more than I do. I'm concentrated on the wastewater recreational complex, building a water facility for our employees. The demolition of our old plant is out to bid now, so that'll happen within the next couple of months. We have to replace water meters. I mean, I can keep going
Yeah.
and going and going.
All right. Well, speaking of recreation, because I brought this up to the mayor last week,
Yep.
the soccer team is looking to play somewhere
Yeah.
before their stadium is built. What about Rivers Edge?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the mayor is all over that. She's all about trying to promote the city, and yeah. So, like I said, I have so many other things and so little time. Right? I'm getting older, not younger,
Well, like all of us.
and yeah. But I do want to enjoy my retirement.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm focusing on completing these projects, and that's it. That's,
All right.
That's where I'm at.
Very good.
So.
We did a note that was called in to 766-1240. Bob, this goes back to our discussion in them about baseball. And the person just says the Tampa Bay streak will end today.
Oh,
Why would they say that? Who are they playing today?
Boston Red Sox.
they're playing the Red Sox.
But you just said the Red Sox weren't particularly good this season.
They're okay, but it all depends on our starting pitching. Who's pitching today? I don't know the rotation yet.
Not Chris Sale. That's
It's
for
no,
sure.
that was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday's fiasco.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, well, someone just has some good confidence that the Sox will end the streak today.
Sports betting is now legal. Maybe there should be competition here.
It's funny. I'll tell you off the air of why I can't do that.
There's a very good reason.
There's a very good
His
reason.
wife
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
want him to lose money all the time.
Well, that's
No,
another,
no, that's another
That's
reason.
another good reason.
Yeah.
She's not a big fan of gambling in general. All right, we got to run. The show has come to an end, so we thank you very much for listening in. Steve D'Agostino, thanks for coming in. And
Oh, it's my pleasure
give us
as
any
always.
good information as always.
I love
Emily-
trees more than some people.
All right, there you go.
I
Emily,
stand by that.
That's a good sentiment.
Emily Haney-Sheehan, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. I'll be here
Thank you.
next week, same
you.
time, same place, and everybody enjoy the nice weather.
Very good. Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me. Hope to be with you next week.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the warm weather. Gary Smith and the crew coming up at 9:30 with Do You Remember right here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. A major brush fire was fought in West Greenwich on Wednesday. The Rhode Island DEM says the fire was in the Big River Management Area off Congdon Mill Road. The State National Guard was using helicopters to dump water on the blaze, which consumed over 150 acres. The Rhode Island Office for the Child Advocate is investigating the death of Stacy Perez, a teen who ran away from her foster home in Providence and died after allegedly being given fentanyl by a man who is now in police custody. Police say Juan Pizarro of Providence was distributing drugs at a motel in Warwick, and they arrested him in connection to the death of 15-year-old